again, it's a hot afternoon here. Coming up, Wilfred Benitez and Tony Cerda, a big 10-round middleweight fight. You can see the way they're dressed, that they're dressed for heat. And there's nothing like Las Vegas for the beautiful women that attract the men here to watch the sporting events and the gambling events here in the great city of Las Vegas, Nevada. A fun city to be in, and we're so glad that you can be with us on the Don King Sports and Entertainment Network, watching these big fights coming up. Wilfred Benitez and Tony Cerda, and of course, the next big one, the WBC World Super Lightweight Championship, Irish Leroy Haley and Bruce Curry. We're just waiting for Benitez to make his appearance into the ring, and when he does, we'll be underway here. While I have the opportunity, I can tell you a little bit about Wilfred Benitez. As you folks so well know, he's one of only 6 men to win the World Championship in 3 different weight divisions. He won, of course, the World Boxing Association Junior Welterweight title at 17 years old. Then he won the WBC Welterweight title. And then, of course, he won the WBC Super Welterweight crown. And now he's moving into the middleweight division. And this is a new thing for him. And we're going to find out whether he can be one of the few to move up in weight and do it successfully. We feel that he can do it successfully because he certainly has the body and frame to be able to put that weight on and move up in the middleweight division. Larry Holmes, you can see him there, the heavyweight champion of the world. He'll be fighting, as you know, on Friday night here at the Dunes Hotel. Terrible Tim Witherspoon, the opponent. An interesting situation there. As you know, Larry Holmes has been fighting for the Don King Sports and Entertainment Network and for Don King Productions since he won this heavyweight crown and even prior to that. And Carl King, the son of Don King, handles Terrible Tim Witherspoon and also Michael Doak. So you've got kind of a family battle there, too, which adds a little bit more to the excitement of this thing. But talking about Wilfred Benitez, he's only 24 years old, and he really is regarded as perhaps one of the finest boxers in the sport today. And Ray Boom Boom Mancini's back here with me. And Ray, Benitez is a great fighter. We can use that term on Benitez, can't we?
Yes, absolutely. Anytime you're talking about a triple world champion, you're talking about one of the greats of all time.
Of all time?
Absolutely. What he did was unbelievable at 17 years old, winning a first world title against a man at that time, Antonio Cervantes, when Antonio Cervantes was Kid Pambale. I think Benitez at this point is the most talented fighter in the world, talent-wise.
Well, you have to check out the outfit that Wilfred Benitez is coming into the ring in. He's certainly coming in style.
Well, he's a stylish fighter.
Ray mentioned, of course, at 17, he decisioned Antonio Cervantes for the WBA Junior Welterweight title to become, at that time, the youngest person to win a world title. He added his second crown, the WBC Welterweight Championship, on January 14th of 79 by decisioning Carlos Palomino, and he earned his third record-tying third championship, the WBC Super Welterweight Championship, in May of 1981 by stopping Maurice Hope. Now let's go to Chuck Hall.
For the next bout of the evening, Mr. Richard Green. The next bout of the evening, a featured event of the card, featuring 10 rounds of boxing in the middleweight division. Introducing, in the blue corner, fighting out of Los Angeles, California, weighing 160 3/4 pounds. He has a professional record of 18 wins, 2 defeats, and 3 draws. Here is Tony Cerda. And in the red corner, from San Juan, Puerto Rico, a gentleman who has held 3 world titles in 3 weight classifications. He's fighting today in the middleweight division at 158 pounds. His professional record, 43 wins, 2 defeats, and 1 draw. Introducing, in the red corner, Wilfred Benitez.
Third man in the ring, Richie Green, calls him to the center of the ring. 10-point must scoring system, 3 knockdown rule is in effect here. Remember, the fighter must get up following a low blow, or he can be counted out. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the final round, which, of course, in the 10th round here signifies the end of the match. Scoring done by 3 judges. The referee has no vote, but only the referee can stop the fight. Again, the scoring based on clean hits, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense. Richie Green, an experienced veteran referee. And now we get to see Wilfred Benitez, who certainly came in sartorial splendor.
That was something. I've never seen that. I got to try that.
A tuxedo boxing outfit. Where else but Las Vegas? And Wilfred, not known to be one of the more colorful people in the world of boxing.
Well, when they say we're entertainers, they mean it.
For sure. A little bit of the Don King flair, I'll have to say. All right, we're just about set to go. This is a 10-round scheduled middleweight fight. Now, how about in his case, boom, as we get ready, round 1 underway now, as we watch, of course, Benitez in the maroon trunks and Cerda in the white trunks. A big opportunity for Cerda to move up in the rankings. He's 18-2 from Los Angeles and would love to be able to knock out Benitez. It would put him right in the rankings.
Well, I'd say beat him. I don't know if he's going to knock him out. Hitting Benitez is like hitting a ghost at times. But I definitely think he's a determined kid. He looks like he's a hungry fighter. And I'm sure that he knows this is his big shot, and he's going to take full advantage of it.
Last time out, Ray, he beat, actually he drew with Alex Ramos up in Lake Tahoe, a tough fight.
Well, that's a victory in itself. That's a good psychological victory, moral victory for him.
Now, one question I have to ask you, your opinion on fighters moving up in weight classifications. We've seen it happen to a lot of fighters where they seem to lose some of the zip. Roberto Duran, Alexis Aguelo, and 2 great champions. When they moved up, they had problems. Can this man do it, in your opinion?
Benitez, I think absolutely Benitez can do it. He's, you understand he's only 24. I think he's just about finished growing now. And at the time when he was 147, he was still growing. So I think he can hold this weight comfortably. He's got the right size, the right frame for it. And, when guys move up, let's say it takes away your punching power. Well, in effect, you're hitting stronger guys, but it never takes away the know-how, which you have stored in that memory. So I think absolutely he can go up and fight with the best of them, just like Alexis Arguello, Henry Armstrong, the men of that caliber.
Ray, you mentioned the growing factor of Wilfred Benitez. The fact of the matter is, when he was 17 and won his first championship, he was 2 inches shorter. We forget about it. He's putting on the weight, but he's also growing taller. Has
Absolutely.
he stopped growing?
Absolutely. You're talking about great fighters here. When you talk about, anytime you're talking about Wilfred Benitez, you're talking about somebody who can hang with anybody in the world.
I thought he was at his best when he fought Duran about a year or so ago. Duran was fighting for his boxing life at that stage, fighting Benitez, and that to me was really a fine boxing show of 2 great, skilled, gifted athletes.
And I was lucky enough to be ringside for that fight. But I'll tell you what, see, what always hurts Wilfred Benitez is the lack of fights, lack of staying busy. And I think that's what has been his downfall, so to speak. He gets rusty. 7 to 8 months between fights doesn't help anybody. Who knows if he'd have fought every 3 or 4 months, how sharp he'd be, how many victories, how many titles he'd win. Who knows? Who knows if he'd ever get beat?
Benitez, of course, you watch him, he doesn't look like he's doing as much as he is, because he is a guy that waits for his shots, picks his opportunities, never allows himself to get hurt too badly in the process, and when he does get his opportunity to drop that hand, either hand, he does the job and does it effectively. We go across the way now to look at Tony Cerda. We don't know a heck of a lot about him, but we do know that anyone that got to a draw with Alex Ramos is a tough cookie.
Tony, you're doing great. Absolutely. And I'll tell you, Tony Cerda, he's got a good man in his corner, Jimmy Montoya. I don't care if he lacks confidence, but Montoya won't let him. But
you got to be quicker. You got to double up on it. You can't counter. You got to double up.
All right, we go across the way now into the corner of Wilfred Benitez, and there's a disciplined corner for you, Ray. You talked about how important it is to have a disciplined corner. I think certainly when Ali beat Foreman in Africa, the disciplined corner won there. We've seen it through the history of boxing that it's very important, and Benitez has that control in his corner now.
I see a new man in Benitez's corner, Victor Machado from New York. A man that I know very well. Good man.
Coming up to round 2.
I think Benitez corner got a little too excited, forgot to put his mouthpiece in.
They're all very enthusiastic in his camp, wanting to see him do the best he can in this division. Very interested to see and follow his progress in the middleweight division. Don't forget, this is his middleweight debut. But when you look at his body, he's not thick around the middle, not heavy around the middle like Duran was when he moved up. This man's in terrific, terrific shape.
Yes, he is. Great physical specimen.
Good, quick, crisp shot.
He's got all the moves, I'll tell you. He slipped that left jab just with the movement of the head and slipped up a short uppercut.
He got a lot of power in that. That punch only traveled about 6 inches, and there was some zip on that, wasn't there?
It's all technique. Straight from the shoulders.
I like the way when Benitez goes in, he keeps his elbows out, so when guys start throwing body shots at him, he's taking them on the arms instead of taking them deep in the kidney areas or up underneath the rib cage.
Absolutely.
Again, Ray Boom Boom talked about the technique, and this is really a fellow with technique now. Again, Wilfred Benitez in the maroon trunks, fighting again Tony Cerda in the white trunks. One thing for Cerda, though, just to have had the experience of getting in with a guy of this caliber, this is going to be a learning session for him.
Absolutely. He'll be a better fighter for it, no matter what happens. Cerda's got a shark on his trunks. I wonder, does that mean anything? Is that his nickname, the Shark?
I haven't heard if that is, but we could call him the Shark.
All right. So Cerda stays right in there.
Again, we're in round 2. Wilfred Benitez, Tony Cerda. Bob Sheridan and Ray Boom Boom Mancini, so glad that you're with us for this one. We've all been anxious to see exactly what Wilfred Benitez would do in the middleweight division. So far, he looks pretty slick. But Tony Cerda doesn't look too bad either. He's giving him a pretty good go here through the first couple of rounds. Time will also tell in this one. Conditioning and experience. Don't forget Benitez, 43-2-1 against 18-2-3.